everybody. I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. And I hope I pronounced this young lady's name right. She's a comedian, a writer, a content creator, a bodybuilder, Laura Lifshitz. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Lifshitz is right. Sorry, all
Lifshitz. I
right.
pronounced I pronounced it correctly.
You did it right. You did it
Do,
right.
do you get some comments about your last name?
Oh yeah. It's so old though to me. I'm so
Yeah,
used to it.
I didn't do it. I just asked. I just wondered.
Yeah, I get it a lot. It's
I'll bet.
annoying. Now I'm like so used to it. I'm
Okay.
so, but
I left it alone. I knew a guy named Rob Lipschutz, and I always just left that alone. Are you're in New
it's just so
Jersey?
lame. Your Lifshitz,
I don't
my
want to
ass
get.
whistle.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm sorry.
All right.
Are you in New Jersey? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey,
Were
Dirty
you born
Jersey.
and raised in New Jersey?
Born and raised here. My parents immigrated, did the great immigration from Brooklyn and moved to the shore.
Okay.
And so my whole life I've lived in New Jersey or Manhattan.
Okay. When did you
Yeah.
start doing comedy?
So I have like a little bit of a different journey, I feel like, than some of my other like comedian friends. I actually started doing stand up when I was on MTV. So I was in my
Okay. Yeah,
20s,
I
early
got. We'll
20s.
get to that.
Okay. And
Oh no, I mean
so,
no, I didn't mean to interrupt. You tell me how it started
okay.
because you've done so
So,
much.
yeah. So, at the time I had a record deal and
Really?
there was, yeah, had a record deal. Yeah.
Did you know I
And,
worked for RCA Records?
no, I didn't know that. And I
Go
love
ahead.
music.
Yeah.
So I had an RCA, or not an RCA, I had a record deal. And one of the managers that was working with another talent member was like, let me take a look at this contract. He's like, I don't think this is good. And
Okay.
actually, Larry Rudolph, who was Britney Spears' manager and lawyer at the time, got
Okay.
me out of it. And this man, Charlie, he said to me, look, you might have a great voice. You might have a really lovely voice, but people think you're funny. People love how funny you are. Like, you
Okay.
really should consider stand up. And, you know, he like planted the seed, but I've loved comedy since I was like really little. Like my neighbor, she was like my childhood best friend. We're still friends to today. Her mother used to say, like, you're just like Joan Rivers, and I was like 9. So, I was like a handful. And so when he said that to me, I was like, I've always loved like Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby before he was a rapist, and like loved Joan Rivers. And I just always wanted to, it's stuck in the back of my head. And once he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right. And that's kind of what got the whole ball rolling
Okay.
was just Charlie getting me out of this bad record deal.
Okay. You mentioned
Yeah,
Joan Rivers twice. Do you know Helene
love
Witt?
her. Hmm.
Helene, do you know Helene Witt?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
She wrote some jokes for Joan Rivers.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. There's just something about Joan that was just,
Oh
and
yeah.
she's an icon. She was an icon and like she cared about
Okay.
what she looked like, which I could relate and
Right.
she was herself. She gave zero fucks.
Well,
I loved that
she
about her.
gave zero fucks. I love that.
Like say what
I
you want about me. I'm gonna Botox this shit up and do what I want. I'm gonna say what I want. And she was like nails, like just
she stood up to Johnny Carson and stuff. I had a lot of respect for her. I have Joan Rivers albums.
exactly.
I have Joan Rivers
Yeah.
albums.
She was she
Um,
she was the shit.
you
She was
mentioned
great.
it, so we'll move on there. You were a former MTV host.
Yes. Yeah. So, I was a college student and it's such a funny story. So this really hot guy on my campus that everyone wanted to do, right? I didn't. He was a good looking guy, but I had no
Like me,
interest.
like me.
Like you, just like you, right? Just like you,
Yeah, I'd probably
baby.
remind you of him.
You do. You're giving me memories. But no, like the thing is, all the girls wanted to bang him, and I didn't because he wasn't that smart. He wasn't that smart. And like, there's something, I'm like, he's cute, but he's an airhead, right? He said to me, by the way,
Well,
Laura,
I fit the bill.
now you fit the bill because you're an airhead. So he's like, MTV's here, like, looking for
Right.
students for like spring break. So I goofed around with people for like the camera. And this woman looked at me and she goes, you're really good on camera. I'm going to call you. And I was like, yeah, yeah, sure you are. Like
Right.
whatever. She called me. She called me, maybe it was like 2 weeks later, and she's like, we're having this MTV VJ contest. You should try out. And like at the time, there had been a contest the year before that Jesse Camp had won. And like I heard of it, but I was done watching MTV. I was really into like I was a college DJ, so I was really into
Yeah.
like rock and roll, but also like R&B and hip hop, like really like alternative forms of music. And I was a journalist, so I did a lot of music writing. And so like MTV had kind of like it wasn't cool anymore to me so much, right? But she said this, and I was like, you know what? Why not?
Right.
So I ended up going with a friend of mine, and I'm on the line. It's like 5 in the morning, and it's like Times Square, and it's like everybody's like wrapped around. There's so many people, and I'm like, shit, I don't have my driver's license. And like that was one thing you needed to bring. I had no proof of identity, but they looked at me, they're like, whatever, just move through. And I remember I had to read off the script. It was like a Beastie Boys lead up to a video, right? This is the time I think had just like released Hello Nasty. So I did it, and they were like, you're going to move on. And so I go to this next, readout, and there's Rod Asa, who was like MTV talent. And right away I read for him, and I was like, he likes me. And I know it's a weird thing because there were so many thousands of people there that day. I just knew. And I did. I got a call
That's
shortly
cool.
thereafter,
That's
like, you're
cool.
in the contest. Yeah. So,
You
I mean,
you also been on other
cool.
AMC, VH1, Ricky Lake show.
Yep. Queen
Um,
Latifah.
okay. Do you have funny stories about, well, I don't think we have time for all those, but do you have some other stories that,
From that time, I mean, I love like Queen Latifah was so cool. I mean, she's exactly how you would think she was, just
yeah.
super down to earth, like just rolling with it.
All
Like,
right.
who is this crazy white lady in my studio? I loved her. She was so great. Ricky Lake, I really liked a lot too. And in
Okay.
fact, I was on as like a host, and they're like, you know what? Come back on. We want you to come back on, and we want you to co-host the show. So the weirdest stuff. Like I think I was like asking people if they wanted to, what they thought of Chum, like would like doing random dares and stuff, which of course fit the bill because I was doing a karaoke show on MTV, going up
Right.
to people, going up to bums in Washington Square Park and being like, will you sing Eminem with me? Like you couldn't do this stuff today, right? Because if you did this
Wow.
stuff today, like I
That's
chased them for
crazy.
a taxi in Times Square. Like if I did this today, I'd probably be arrested. Like hate to say it,
Crazy.
times were way a little more loose back then, which was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And it was great because I got to meet a lot of cool people. I remember Jim Brewer was on this
Yeah.
MTV contest, and he like told the whole audience that my boobs were real. I was like, oh my God, Jim just told everybody that my boobs are real.
Oh my
That
God.
was something else. Eminem
I
and I played a joke on Dr. Dre, like, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, which I loved. He told
right.
me that was funny. I was like, John Stamos winked at me. So I
You
had a
mean
lot of fun. I had a
no,
lot
it's
of
not
fun.
well, and we can share some stories. I always tell people I had dinner with R. Kelly and he didn't piss on me.
Oh, nice.
I had dinner with Will Smith and he didn't smack me. So, and I met Diddy and he didn't. Comedians, you mentioned Joan Rivers. And I was wondering if there's other comedians that inspired you and comedians that you like now.
I mean, like anybody who's inspired me, I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like those early, like Richard Pryor, right?
Right.
Eddie Murphy, like and you know what? Andrew Dice Clay, we loved
Yeah,
him. Like
Dice
I
Man.
loved how
Yeah.
dirty he was,
Yeah.
little boy blue. He needed the money,
Yeah,
like
right,
I
right.
just love that. I still remember that,
The
like that
nursery
stuff
rhymes.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of the comedians that I just see locally and regularly,
Right.
only because like I'm seeing them every week and I'm like rooting for them. I do have a funny story about the late Patrice O'Neill though that I was meaning to tell you.
Okay.
Patrice was something else. So I was very lucky in that I had a really great talent manager, Jason Steinberg, and he would like put me up on good shows. And I had a great relationship with Caroline's. So I had a lot of shows there. Caroline's was the best. Classy people. I loved them. Like I loved going there. I just felt so good. They were so respectful, which was so different from the rest of a lot of the industry. So I would get to do shows where like I would back up to like Jim Gaffigan would be on his next show, right? Patrice O'Neill, Ben Bailey, like all these,
Right.
it was, all these cool people. We're outside, we're outside of Caroline's and we're all waiting to get in because we were gonna do like some prom show, and I guess Patrice had a late show. And he looks at me and he's like, "Can I grab your ass?" He's like, "Because a guy like me is never gonna have a chance to do this." And I'm like, Patrice, no, you cannot. No, you cannot. But it was just the way he did it. Like he positioned it like this was his last fucking chance, to like ever touch an ass again. He was like, I'm never gonna be able to touch an ass that
Okay,
nice.
so Jim Brewer announced that you're being
Yeah,
for real, and
yeah.
Patrice wanted to grab your butt. Wow,
Yeah, so talk about
wow.
being a woman in
And
comedy.
I'm just gonna keep rolling. You
Yes.
have a
But
description.
I gotta say, Scott, um, two also of my favorite people I still really love is like Jim Norton and Jim Florentine. And we all know that like Norton is filthy and he's just the nicest guy. I love him. I love
Okay.
him. They were always
Did he
so
ask about any of your
cool.
body? Did he ask about any parts? Did he? I'm sorry.
Oh, he's
I'm sorry. Let's roll on.
no, no,
And I'm
no,
starting to get a little giddy now. I'm starting to get a little worked up.
sorry. This is
Hi,
part of
Daddy.
the thing, part of it.
Okay,
Remember,
stop. We got to move on because I love this. I wrote this down. I wrote down a lot of stuff because
okay.
whenever someone comes on my show, I try and pay respect, and you have done so much. But I love this in the description on one of them, Instagram. I'm going to put all the links to all of your stuff.
Thank you.
Pint size battery operated. I'm sorry. Is where do the
Put it
batteries go
together,
in?
Scott.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's move on. No, I mean, you have it down.
It's true though. Battery operated. That's just I didn't mean it like a vibrator. And by the way, Scott,
Okay, well,
today's
that
day and age,
see,
vibrators are just for the audience. You can now charge your vibrator just like you charge your iPhone. Just
I
letting
saw
y'all
that.
know.
Not that I know anything about them. I saw that.
Well, maybe you need to open your mind to it. But the whole
I
point of
don't
the
have a
battery operated,
vibrator.
that's what he said, folks.
All right. I would because I'm curious about this because you've done a lot of, and I'll be serious. I don't like to be serious, but I want to be serious because you are a very, very intelligent and amazing woman. You've done a lot of social media content creation for some big companies and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious because you've done the MTV and the TV side, and you've done content creating for big companies, and then you do stand up comedy. Which one do you enjoy doing the most?
Oh, God. I mean,
Or is it? I mean, I didn't mean. It's funny though because sometimes a lot of people say I love doing stand up the most.
I mean,
Other people tell me I enjoy doing the Instagram skits and that kind of stuff more.
it's just different. I love performing the most, right? That's what fills my
Okay.
bucket the most. But like being on MTV and doing stand up, those to me are the same. They're just performing. They're just
Okay.
different aspects. Like I love to sing, I can sing. And
Okay.
I'll get up and sing in front of anybody. Like performing is just
Go
where my
ahead. Go
heart
ahead. Do
is.
a
It
little
always
for
has
us. Just
been.
sing a little bit for us. Go ahead.
No, no, now you're
I
making me
got.
sad.
I worked in the music business. I got to sing. It's in my blood. We'll get a transfusion. I've heard you sing.
No.
I'm
So
kidding
no.
you.
No, like it's in the family. My dad was a folk singer, my grandmother was an opera
Okay.
singer.
No.
So
But
we sing.
you
Um,
enjoy doing any kind of performing.
I love performing, but content creation is very different, right? Like there's something to be said about like just getting to see your stuff. And I've done print work, I've done radio, but I've done a lot of digital. And so with digital, it's like it's different. It's like instant gratification. It's just it's out there, it's out there, it's out there. And then you could also change it. You don't like it or a brand doesn't like it. you change it. It doesn't take that long,
Well, and
so
you've
it's,
done voiceover stuff too.
I love voiceovers. Yes. In fact, I'm still pissed to this day. I auditioned for the Cartoon Network, and it was like between me and somebody else, and they got it. But I had to go through a lot of people to get there. And I remember being at Columbia. I went to Columbia University before all the controversy. And I remember somebody coming up to me after class and saying, I worked for Sesame Street for years, and you would have been an amazing Muppet with that voice. And I'm like, that would have been my dream. Like someone to say, here you go, you get to be the next Miss Piggy. Like, yes, I would have loved that.
I've had a guy on. I had a guy on. I can't remember his name, but he actually did some stuff for Cartoon Network.
Oh, it's the best. There's not like I ever since my daughter was little, I've been like doing little voices in front of her. And the
Oh
other
no,
day she did
it
Jennifer
was no. I'm sorry, it was
Cruz for me.
PBS Kids. He was doing stuff for PBS Kids.
Oh, yeah, but still, that's great. I don't care,
Okay, all right.
whatever it is, it's fun.
Do you have a favorite show that you've done so far, or you can include TV memory or any of the favorite, and then one a least favorite, one that didn't go so good.
Okay, so do you mean television or do you mean comedy
It,
or
it
one
can
of
be whatever
each?
you want. Listen, it's your comedy minute, so you do whatever you want. And I didn't even touch on the bodybuilding. You scare the hell out of me. You beat the shit out of me.
All right, well, one thing at a time. Okay, I gotta, I can tell, Scott, you're a little unruly boy. I gotta
I'm
reel
a
you
little
in.
nervous. Well, you're talking about your boobs and your butt. It's too damn early for all that for me.
Imagine what it's like being a woman in the comedy business. So you just
Yeah,
described it.
I'm sorry.
Um, it's okay. It's how it is, and it was way worse back in the day. It's gotten better,
Yeah,
but it
well,
was
and it was that way in the
rough.
music. It was that way in the music business too, to be
Yes, it
serious.
sure as hell was. So I think my favorite show was, in terms of comedy, it would be a tie between my first show at Caroline's, right? Because also my
Okay,
dad was there, my mom was still alive, she was there.
okay,
And then I performed at Rodney's a few weeks ago, and like
I saw
Jason
that.
was there, my old comedy manager. So it just felt like a full circle thing. Just it was a really, really, really good set. And then in terms of television, I just I love Say What Karaoke. It was just so much fun. We had such a good group. I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I worked with.
Okay.
Yeah. My least favorite.
Well, you mentioned Rodney's. I didn't tell you I met Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, I would.
Go ahead.
He's one person I haven't.
Did you ever meet him?
Um,
Did you ever meet him?
no, no,
Okay.
he's one I haven't met.
Okay. Well, he's
Um,
dead now, so you're not going to meet him.
yeah. No, clearly I'm not. You never know. You never know, Scott.
Well, yeah. Okay. I'm
You never
sorry.
know.
I'm sorry.
If something
I'm not getting
happens
enough
and I go up
oxygen
to
right
heaven,
now.
then maybe he and I will share a room together there. You just don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe you and I could share a room together. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know that you have that enough money for that. I was
Oh,
just
oh,
joking.
kids. All right, go to the least favorite show. I'm just playing. Don't get mad at
I
me.
know. I know.
Least favorite show.
My least favorite
Where
show.
things didn't go so good. Like this one, kind of like this interview.
No, no, no. Not my least favorite, but so when I first got in the actors union, I did a fire safety public service announcement.
Okay.
It was my first job and it went well. It was just really long. And I was singing over and over again, be cool about fire safety over and over again. These like really late 90s, early millennial lyrics. Like I'm just like we're singing it over and over again. It was just the longest shoot to do a public service announcement. It was something else, but you know what? To this day, you can YouTube it and you could find it, and it's very
You can
humiliating.
really sing. You were great. I loved it. Do it again. Yeah,
Yeah,
fire safety. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, after you sang about fire safety for 5 days, you're like, I'm over this, but I'm getting paid SAG money. So,
Right.
for those of you who don't know, that's union money. You're not going to complain. So that was rough.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
then so when I worked on MTV, I would do these like man on man on the street
I remember
shoots.
that.
What that meant is I would go out into the streets. They were long days, just in case people thought like I just showed up and left. No, they were long days. Like I would get picked up around 5. in New Jersey, and then I'd probably work till, 5 or 6 or 7,
Yeah,
and
12
there were
hours.
just days where it was like crappy out and I'm outside and like nobody's participating and I'm hungry. But like for the most part, it was great. But for those days when it was like either really hot out or
Yeah.
really cold, I'm just
Okay.
like, I'm done.
I got it. Now we did mention, and I know it's a very important part, the bodybuilding and stuff. You actually are training, I think, to do weight bodybuilding or something. Is that right?
Yeah, so I have a coach. His name is Pete Lopez, and I've been working over the last, I would say, 15 months with him, um, with the goal of doing a bodybuilding show. It's very hard. I don't think people understand how hard it is. And I've been trying to gain a lot of muscle, and I've come really far. He's amazing.
Wonderful.
He
Wonderful.
knows what he's doing, and he's very passionate about it. Even like today, he texted me like about my weight from the day before, So, but it's intense. For
Yeah.
me, I wasn't athletic in school when I was growing up.
Okay.
I liked dance, right? I liked dance and all the arts. But like gym class, I was like, fuck you, Reagan. I'm not climbing up that rope, right? I'm not doing your physical fitness test. Like, look at me. I'm like this big. I can't do that. I can't do a push-up. I can tell you a sonnet. I can sing you Madonna's like full discography, but you ain't getting me up there. So it was unusual that I responded so well to it, but I love it. I love
Yeah.
lifting. I do Pilates. I just feel like I'm a super active person and I have a lot of energy. I need it to go somewhere.
Well, and
And lifting was where it went.
it releases endorphins and stuff in your body.
Yeah.
Working out is good for you.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like for women, the more muscle you gain, the better for your bones later on in life. So
Okay. Now, and I'm not sure about this. I write down like I wrote down some stuff there, and you're sharing
sure.
stuff with me. And for people that don't know, we've never met.
Yeah, we've never met.
I
this
like
is
I
our
like
first
doing I like
time.
doing them this way because we don't know what's going to happen. And so far,
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but no, you have here. I wrote this down. Punchline of your daughter's jokes.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. My daughter, I did the same thing. Like when I was out with my mom, like I would definitely make
Yeah,
jokes
you do a
about
bit. I
her just
saw a
to be
bit like
funny.
that on Instagram about your mom.
Yeah, yeah. My mom passed away almost, it'll be 3 years in
I'm
November. And
sorry.
thank you. Yeah, she was great. But she definitely like that Irish Catholic dark sentimentality,
Yeah.
like we're talking about our death every day. It's like, okay, great, it's sunny today. We're alive. Let's discuss that. But she was super down to earth and just you could tell like everybody talked to her. She was awesome. I think she would approve of my joke. I
My
hope so.
and but your daughter is now doing. Does she do comedy too, or how old is she? Does she?
No, she's 14. She,
Oh,
she it's
okay. I didn't
like
know. I apologize. We didn't. I just. But
okay.
she makes fun of you.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. She'll be like, you that was embarrassing, or you shouldn't do that. I don't like that bathing suit. Wear something different. Like she definitely puts her 2 cents in. And she's very funny, actually. She's
Yeah.
really funny. She's a little shy. She's
Okay.
done some acting, but we'll see if I don't know that she'll ever do comedy because that
Who
takes a lot
knows?
and she's
Like
a
you
little
said,
shy.
hey, you still might meet Rodney Dangerfield one day.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You
don't know.
never know.
Again, I don't know if this is, but on one of them, from MTV to Mommy, is that something you're working
So
on?
no, so for a very long time, I had a blog called From MTV to Mommy, and it
Okay.
gave a lot of, for a very long time, I was a prominent writer about divorce,
Okay.
and relationships. And so, God, I must have wrote like, we're talking like 50 articles a month
Oh,
on
wow.
divorce, relationships, parenthood.
Okay.
And then at some point, I'm like, you know what? I've been divorced now. Actually, this Saturday was my divorce anniversary. I've been divorced officially 9 years. So like I've
Divorce.
said so much. If you
Divorce.
if you want my
I can't
sage
even say it.
advice, please come to me,
That's
for
funny.
a private consultation.
Well, we don't have a lot of. I mean, I want to make sure I covered everything. I do want to do a shout out to
Sure.
Donna Lloyd,
Yay. I
because
love
Donna,
Donna.
I think, set this up, and I know I saw we
Yep.
had some other friends, Naked Eddie, Stacy
I love
Prussian.
Naked Eddie.
Naked Eddie's been
Hello.
here. Naked Eddie's been on here. He filmed something for me. Yeah, he's all right, in my opinion.
Oh, he's so cute. I
He's
just love
funny as
him.
hell.
He's so funny and he's so nice, and you don't
Yeah.
always get that. Like I've seen some really funny comedians and they've
Yeah.
not been that nice.
No,
So
you're right. You're right. I've had a couple on. I've had a couple on, particularly from
imagine.
New York that are just a little rough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like stop being so full of yourself. Life
Well,
is
it
too
just
short.
to me, I just try to bring joy to people's lives. What crumbs of joy can I steal from this day?
Yeah,
And you're the
exactly.
crumbs of joy I'm stealing today, young lady.
I am.
What else?
Pink
What else do we?
iced
What's that?
crumbs.
Now stop. Don't get me worked up again.
It's very easy to get you worked up. I have a feeling, Scott. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that a one and a two, and you're done.
Oh, hey, now, hey, wait a minute, officer. Don't put the handcuffs on me. Put them on her. I'll share her with you. What the hell's that about? Jesus God. Right away, you have to go after my sex life. What? Do you like short stories? I'll tell you about my sex life.
Oh God, I'm sure they're very short,
And no,
abridged,
no
as it
pun
were.
intended. Short stories. Get it?
Abridged is
Pitched version. Well, look, I've had a wonderful time.
yeah, you're fun. This was fun.
Did
I
you
like
have
it.
fun?
Yeah, I'm like still
Okay, well, we
laughing.
have one more piece of business you got to do for me, right?
Geez, you got to contact my OnlyFans for that. Just
No.
kidding. In case
What's the
anybody's
name of the
watching,
show? What's the
especially my
name of this
daughter,
show?
I don't have an OnlyFans.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was going to look right afterwards. It's called Your Comedy Minute, and I know
Your
you've given
comedy.
us a couple, but can you give me one more? I'll do a formal introduction, and you do a Your Comedy Minute. Do you remember that part?
Yes, you just want me to do
Whatever
either
you
one
want
of
to do,
my
it's you got
favorite
time.
jokes.
We got a little time. So
All right.
Laura
There you
Lifshitz,
go. You did
Laura
it. You
Lifshitz,
did
Your
it,
Comedy
Scott.
Minute. Go ahead, my friend.
So, this is a little bit controversial and people don't want to laugh, but they need to like loosen up a little bit, especially white people. Let's just face it, Trump has been deporting people left and right. Am I
Right.
right? It's a little
Yeah.
crazy, right? Well, my kid is a Hernandez, so she's next, but she keeps saying to me, "Hey, mom, could we go to Disney?" Oh, you're going to go on a vacation, kid. Pack lightly. Is Mickey going to be there, mom? I don't know about Mickey, but definitely Donald.
Two for two. That's great.
Yeah. A little dark, but you know what?
Yeah, I
I gotta
love it.
have
I
some
love it.
laughter.
It's
Gotta have some laughter.
fantastic.